There was once a frog who lived at the bottom of a well. It was a small well. Old stone walls, cool and green with moss. A circle of sky above. No wider than a dinner plate if you looked up far enough. The frog did not look up very often. Why would he? Everything he needed was right here. Clean water at his feet, a ledge of smooth stone to rest on, the sound of his own voice echoing back to him when he called. He called often. This is mine, he thought. All of it. This water, this stone, the sky. He was not unkind, this frog. He was not cruel. He was simply certain. Certain that what he knew was what there was to know. And for a long, quiet time, nothing happened to change his mind. One day, a turtle arrived at the lip of the well. She looked down. The frog looked up. "Come in," the frog called. "The water is cool. The stone is smooth. It is very fine down here." "I come from the eastern sea," she said. "It is very large." The frog laughed. A warm laugh, not a mean one, but it was a laugh. "Large," he said. "How large can it be? I have the whole world right here. I know every corner of it. I have measured it with my own legs." The turtle thought for a moment, then she said simply, "You have measured what you can reach." The frog only smiled. She is confused, he thought. She has wandered far and gotten turned around. Poor thing. The turtle said nothing more. She turned and walked slowly back toward the horizon. Without hurry, without argument. The frog settled back onto his stone. Everything is fine, he thought. Everything is exactly as it should be. The storm came quietly at first, a darkening, a stillness. Then the rain began. Not a gentle rain, a real rain, the kind that falls like the sky has been holding its breath for 100 years and finally lets go. I know this, the frog thought. Rain comes, rain fills, rain stops. But this rain did not stop. The water rose around his feet. He moved up. It kept rising. He moved up again. And then, for the first time in his life, the frog ran out of up. He ran out of stone. He ran out of ledge. The water reached the rim of the well, and then it went over. And so did he. The frog tumbled out into the world. He landed in mud, soft, cold, enormous mud with no edges he could see. There was no wall. There was no end. Just land and sky and rain falling across all of it as far as he could see, which was farther than he had ever seen anything. He sat very still. Where, he thought slowly, is the rest of the world hiding? But it wasn't hiding. It had always been there. He was the one who had been inside. For a long time, the frog did not move. He sat in the mud and felt the rain, not as a visitor dropping into his small, known world, but as something vast passing through a vast space. He was simply one small, wet thing sitting inside it. It was not a comfortable feeling, but it was an honest one. When the rain slowed and the sky began to lighten at its edges, the frog began to move, slowly, carefully. He passed a pond, wide and still and full of frogs he had never met. He stopped at the edge. "Where have you come from?" one of them asked. "A well," he said. "I thought it was the whole world." "What changed your mind?" He looked up at the enormous sky, still full of slow-moving cloud. "The rain," he said quietly. The rain was bigger than the well. He stepped into the pond. There is an old saying, "The frog in the well cannot conceive of the ocean," but here is what that saying does not always tell you. The frog is not foolish. He simply lived in a well. He worked with what he could see, learned what he could reach, made a world from what he had, and loved it. That is not a fault. That is something almost beautiful. The fault, if we call it that, is only this. He stopped wondering. He stopped asking, is there more? Friends, maybe you know this frog. Maybe you have been this frog. I have been this frog. We build our wells so carefully. Our routines, our certainties, our small, smooth stones to rest on. We measure the world with our own legs and say, this is all of it. But then, if we are lucky, the rain comes. Not to punish us, not to shame us, just to overflow us. And when the water carries us out into the wide, cold, unmeasured world, we have a choice. We can sit in the mud and grieve the well. Or we can look up at that enormous sky and let it change us. The frog chose to move forward into a pond full of strangers, carrying only this one true thing. I thought I knew. And then I found out I didn't. And that was the beginning. That is not a defeat, friends. That is the whole point. The world is not the size of what you have seen. And you are not finished. Not yet. Not even close. The next time something overflows your certainty, a book, a person, a moment that doesn't fit the world as you understood it, sit with it. Let it be bigger than you expected. Let yourself be a little smaller than you thought, and then move forward. Thank you for sitting with this story today. Share it with someone who might need it. Someone sitting quietly inside their own well, wondering if this is all there is. Maybe this is the rain they needed. Until then, keep wondering, keep moving, and remember, the rain is not your enemy. The rain is your door.